Hello and welcome to another instalment of the Carp Shed. Don't worry, John Flewin hasn't turned into this young, sexy ginger boy. I'm actually Ethan in Pursuit. I'm another member of the team Catch and Release. And what I'm going to be doing in this instalment of the Carp Shed is running through how to tie up my solid bag rig, which coincidentally coincides with John Flewin's way with PVA. So we're going to go through that next. Okay, I'm just going to quickly run you through the rig. I tend to fish a short drop-off inline lead system inside my solid bags, mainly because when you're tying up the bags, you don't need a long length of hook link. Otherwise, that's going to be all looped up in the bag. It can cause tangles, and it doesn't look very nice in the bag. So basically, what I've got here is, and those of you who are in the know, I tend to fish drop-off inline leads quite a lot inside my solid bags. So basically, what can happen is the lead can just pull away, and you fish in safely, effectively. And I tend to use a very heavy lead. That's a 4.5 ounce lead there. Nice condensed lead. That's a quarter square pair, but I tend to use the Avid leads as well, because they got a nice profile and they tend to sit nicely in the bag. So that's the rig. Let's go on. Firstly, I'd just like to say this: you're limited by your own imagination inside the solid bags. But what I tend to use small pellets, ground baits, that sort of thing, to keep it nice and small and compact, because you don't want to create big air pockets in the bag. You want to make them nice and tight and compact so that you can cast them a long way. And I'm not a very good caster, but I can cast those in excess of 110 yards with ease, basically. So first of all, never go anywhere without a bit of innovate baits. This is the active stick mix. This is the cream crunch version. Very coconutty. There's got a lot of hemp in here, a lot of crushed pellets, and yeah, that's a winner for them. And then just to keep it mixed and different, all the same powders. S2T, one of Johnny Flewin's favourite baits. But again, it speaks for itself. Just look on the Innovate's website and just have a look at the mountains of fish this bait has caught. It's just phenomenal. And then just a couple of little edges that I put in my little bags. This is again from Innovate Baits. This is just a little bit of betaine powder. Betaine speaks for itself. That needs no introduction, that doesn't. And then another all-time classic, GLM, which is green lit mussel powder. Very, very salty, very fishy aroma. Again, I don't cast out a solid bag without this in the mix. Hook bait wise, again, try and keep it small inside your solid bag, because I'm using small stuff in there. The last thing you want is a 20mm bolly inside a solid bag which is full of ground bait. So what I tend to use is the Innovate Baits hair razors. This is the S2T in the fluoro pink. This is the cream crunch with added Jaffa. Tastes and smells like Jaffa cakes, so if you like your Jaffa cakes, you're going to like them. Again, these are critically balanced, so when I tie the rig up, I just have a little split shot just on the hair. So what happens then, once the bag's all breaking down, you'll see the pop-up will just whittle its way to the top, and it'll just be kicked above the mix. So the first thing the fish will see is the actual pop-up itself. Anyway, enough of that. Let's get time to tie the bag up. Firstly, I'll take a small, well, this is the extra small, this is a quarter solid PVA bag. The Avid ones are really good as well. It's just your own personal preference. So open the bag up, and then what I tend to do is I'll just pop a little bit of the ground bait into the bottom of the bag. That acts as a cushion for the hook link. Okay. Nextly is to take the rig, which I've seen you've lost. There she is. So there's your rig. This is quite fiddly, this bit, so what you need to do is just open up the bag like so, pop the rig into the bag, and just hold the lead in position, and then you need to just fiddle around with that hook bait just to get the hook sitting down, so it's not tangled on the hair. That's it, perfect. So as you can see there, I don't think you see that off there, I've just got the hook bait actually pushed into that little bit of ground bait. I'm just holding the lead at the back of the bag. There's a little side pocket there for the bait to go through. Then it's just a case of carry on filling up with all your goodies. So a little bit more of the cream crunch ground bait going in. And as you can see now, that hook bait is completely covered now. And then it's just a case of adding just some of the green lip mussel powder. Don't need to load this because it's really expensive stuff, so you don't need to use it loads. And a little bit is perfect, so just drop a little bit of that in. A little bit of the betaine. A little bit of the betaine going in next. That goes in. And then just shake that bag to get all the ground in perfect. Now what next what you want to do, you want to start compacting the lead in, so just use the lead and just compact that ground in and try and get the lead central to the bag. Okay? Just central in there. And again, it's just a case of filling the bag up, a bit more ground bait, a bit more betaine, a bit more green mussel powder, until you get 3/4 of the way up. So just use your fingers, that's it, just hold the top of the bag, and sort of shake it in your hand, compacting that bag down. And as you can see from that, that's a nice compact bag already, just the ground bait in it. Really tight, really compact. As you can start, you just feel it in your hands, it feels really tight and compact. The tighter and compacted bags, the further you're going to cast. You don't want any air pockets stuck in them. So I generally tend not to use a lot of pellet in the mix. But when you start to get to the top, take a little scoop of pellets, and these are 3mm pellets, 4mm pellets and some 2mm pellets. So they're really small. And then you're going to just fill in any little gaps that you've missed. There's a couple of little pellets on the top. And then there's room for just one more scoop, one little half scoop. And I don't know if you know, I tend to use a spoon when doing these bags, rather than picking it up with your hands, it's a lot easier. So that goes in. And there we go. And that's the bag sort of formed. That's all you need to do now, is tie it off. And I'll show you how to do that now. Okay, so when tying it off, like I said, I've gone sort of 3/4 of the way up and left myself plenty of PVA to play with. So the first stage is to grab the bag, really compress it down, get the corners in, and just twist the top of the bag. And as I'm twisting, I'm compressing at the same time. So you'll see that's twisting. Really nice and tight bag. And you can feel it sort of start pushing together, like so, as you can see there, twisted, and then just a little lick on the top of the bag. Again, really, these PVA got a lot of play in them. A lot of time people are scared to twist them because they think they're going to break them. Got a lot of play in them. So just keep twisting. Bit more lickage. Twist. There we go. Really twist that bag. Bit more saliva. And you start to see the bag forming, and that's really tight already, and there's a few more things I can do there. Just hold the bag with twist, let the top of your fingers, and just twist that around like that, cool. And there we go. That's a bag formed. And a lot of people think that's it there, but if you're going for a big chuck, all you need to do then is these little corner bits, just compress those in, and then that gives you a little bit of slack PVA, and then just lift the bottom of the bag, flip that wing over, stick him down, and then go to the other side, again, compress, and you'll feel the ground bait pellets really moving to really give it some, and then again just get that wing up, lick. Oh, he's a tight corner, this one. Lick and stick. So you see the bag start to form up. That's a really tight bag. And like I said, I'm not the best PVA, but that's a tight bag. Now for added security, what I then use, get yourself some solid PVA tape. And to make this easier, I tend to tie the knot around the lead core to start with. So tie yourself a little ground knot. There's loads of different ways of doing this, but this is the way I tend to do it. It's worked for me. So as you can see, that I just tie a little granny knot around the lead core and just slide that down over the knot. And then this is if you go for big tracks. This will hold everything in position for you. So just tie that off with a couple of granny knots, like so. A couple of granny knots from the solid bag. Trim them off. And there she is. One solid bag. And that'll catch your fish absolutely anyway. John ran through it last week with his ways with PVA. Well, you can use the funnel web, your nuggets, PVA nuggets, but in my opinion there's no better rig than a solid PVA bag rig. It casts anyway. You're going to have a couple of these tied up in your bag, so as soon as you turn up to the fish rig you can see fish. That's what I tend to do. I've got some tied up in my bucket all the time. That's all I do. I keep a loop in the end of the lead core. There's a loop on the end of my main line, so all we need to do is push your loop off your main line through the lead core, loop to loop, and you're fishing. It really is as simple as that. And yeah, this tactic has caught me my personal best fish. Twice actually. It caught me the big ghosty from St John's Linear, which is no longer with us unfortunately. And also it caught me the scar. And the capture of the scar really brought it home for the use of PVA bags for me, because I caught a fish, had it in the net, got another lead core rig out, loop to loop him on, got it back up the spot, and literally within 10-15 minutes it was away, because you are speed fishing with solid bags. There's just enough in there to get you a quick bite. So yeah, that's my way with PVA. Next week, I think we're going to be running through a couple of little different tips with marker floats and how to find your different little spots. Yeah, so stay tuned next week. But until then, Team Catch and Release, I'm Ethan in Pursuit, and I hope you enjoy the Carp Shed.